Hi, it's Christopher, and this time we want to talk about granting and removing access within the system. This is a very important part of the system because we have safeguarded the data and entrusted it to certain people who are to be responsible for that information. So let's talk about, firstly, the personal portal. Each individual member is responsible for their own information, and Poppy is clear about that. They need to be able to know what you know about them and to be able to amend that information. Access to that information is through their personal portal. If they've never done that before, they click on login within your denominational website and then put in their personal email address and then a password which they choose, and they put that in twice as a new user. That then links them to their data. Now, what they can do within their personal profile is they can unsubscribe from all emails, all push messaging system and that kind of stuff. And that's part of their right to do all of that. But if they're wishing to be able to have access to communication from the church, they themselves then leave those boxes ticked. So from a communication perspective, they have access to their own information. Within their personal portal, they can see the church's address and details. They can see what the church is doing, any event that the church is about, locations and all those kind of things. The second level is where we are able to then manage who sees the data within a particular group in the life of the church. And that means you can set up a group in the church, and then you allocate access within that group by ticking the appropriate box. And the church administrator does this. And that person then can communicate with and connect with and send push messages to the people within that group. Now, why is this important? They can't see everything, but they can see the person's name, their telephone number, the email address, but that's about it in terms of communication, because that's all they need to know. But if the group wishes to have access to each other's details, then the group leader can then give ticks to everyone in the access boxes, and then they can communicate with one another. Those all then can have the unsubscribe button ticked if they don't want to receive messages from that group. So that's the group. Then the third level. The third level is the local congregation. The local congregation sets it up so that every member can receive messages and they can communicate with the whole congregation. Each individual can unsubscribe, but it's designed to receive all the messages. But who has access to the entire society, congregation, parish, local church? Those folk are those who are entrusted by the leadership of the church. Maybe the priest, the minister, the pastor gives access to administrator or the elders of that church. That is done by going in the members page right to the bottom left-hand corner to grant and remove access. Within that, you will see three different levels of access. The one is the general access to all the data within that local congregation. The second one is for those who manage the worship services on a Sunday to keep details of how many people worshipped, how many children, how many took Holy Communion, and what the collection was on the Sunday. So that's a second level. And all those folk in that group can see is information related to the worship service on a Sunday. They can't see personal information at all. Then the third level is the finance portal. And this requires access to that through their email address, their personal email address, and then verifying that. And then the further step is to grant them access to the finance portal. We've made that more complex because we want to safeguard the finances of the church from general access that folk may have. So those are the three things within the local church. However, should a person no longer fulfill a particular role in the life of the church, the leader of the church can go into that portal, the general or finance portal, whatever it is, and click the red button and removes them from having access still to that particular area. And they're not removed from the membership, they're simply removed from having access to that part of the system. So I hope that is helpful to you in terms of access. Why is it important? Let me come back to the point. We are saying that data needs to be managed and looked after very carefully. We have created the ways where you can protect that data and also honor and respect the individual's participation within your church through the use of the system. So we hope that's a blessing to you. Thank you.